Hey, this is Mrs. Reichelt, and next up we're moving from the axial skeleton to the appendicular skeleton. So the appendicular skeleton is composed of 126 bones. You have the limbs, which make up the appendages, the pectoral girdle, which includes the shoulders, the clavicle, and the scapula. And then you have the pelvic girdle, which includes the two coxal bones in the sacrum. And then if you include the two coxal bones, the sacrum, and the coccyx, then you're making up the bony pelvis. So just be aware that bony pelvis and the pelvic girdle are two different things. So you can't use those interchangeably even though they sound very similar. Okay, so here's this diagram again. I showed this I think in the last video. So everything that's in this teal color is the axial skeleton, and then everything else is made up of the appendicular skeleton. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the pectoral girdle or the shoulder girdle. So the shoulder girdle is composed of two bones. Those bones are the clavicle. The clavicle is also known as the collarbone. And then you have the scapula. The scapula is the shoulder blade. And these bones are going to allow for movement of the upper limb, and they have exceptionally free movement. And let's go ahead and look at a picture. Okay, so the pectoral girdle here, this is our picture of our clavicle. The clavicle has an acromial end and then a sternal end. Notice that the sternal end is pretty flat, and then the acromial end is going to point towards the acromial area. Okay, the sternal end is going to point to the sternum side. And then let's see if we have, oh no, it looks like I forgot to put a picture of the scapula. So the scapula is right back here, and we'll have plenty of diagrams once we start looking at our models of the scapula. But the scapula kind of looks like that. There's a spine on the outer part, and I'll give you a diagram of that in a little bit, I think, here. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the upper limb. So we have the humerus. Whoops. Okay, so the humerus here forms the arm, and it's a single bone. This is the deltoid tuberosity. Okay, this is the lesser tubercle, the greater tubercle, and right now these are going to just kind of fly by. Make sure you label them, and then once we get the models out, then you'll be able to practice these for several days. So the head of the humerus is here. This is the anatomical neck. You don't have to worry about that one. The radial groove is right here. The medial epicondyle, the trochlea, the capitulum. I'm going to skip all of these just to make our video go a little bit faster for you. But we are going to spend a lot of days in class practicing these, so just be aware for right now, you have the humerus, and then go ahead and label some of these. Okay, so we're moving into the forearm. The forearm has two bones, okay? The medial bone, medial means closest to the midline. The medial bone is going to be the ulna, and then the lateral bone is the radius. And go ahead and pause the video, and you can write down each of these. So you have the trochlear notch, the olecranon process, you have the head, you have the neck, the radial tuberosity, the radius. So go ahead and pause this, and we will go through each of those individually in class. Okay, then we get into the hand. So we have the carpals, which make up the wrist, the metacarpals, which make up the palm, and then the phalanges, which make up the fingers. And we're going to go ahead and stop there. The next video is going to cover each of the other parts of the appendicular skeleton.